And another reason why U.S. Truman especially decided to drop the bomb on Japan, because he deemed the Japanese more crueler than the Nazis.
Yeah.
Because of the way they treated American soldiers over the war.
My guest is Ronn Perea. He's authored a book, and two of the chapters 4 and 5 talk about Trinity Site and the creation of the atomic bomb, right?
Still have not discussed the political ramifications.
Talk about that.
Truman did not want Russia involved. They had previously signed a treaty that once they finished dealing with the Nazis, they would then yield towards Japan. Well, by that time, U.S. had the heavier sway over Japan. They did not want Russia to get involved. And so that was another reason to expedite the dropping of the bomb, because they did not want Russia. Russia was already attacking the Japanese forces in China. They did not want them to get involved with the command of the Japanese islands.
Yeah, keep in mind, for context, May of that same time frame is when the Germans were defeated ultimately. Hitler,
May 16th, actually, 1 month before the dropping of the bomb.
I think it was April 30th where Hitler committed suicide. So all these extraordinary events took place within the span of 3 or 4 months in 1945.
And all under Truman's point, long after FDR had passed. Within a month.
Well, within a month, yeah, because FDR had a brain hemorrhage in April 45 and died. So what we're talking about is, would we have dropped the bomb? Because, as you know, estimates would have been over 1 million casualties had American and their allies invaded Japan.
And Japan turned down that offer from Russia because there was no proviso in that demand from U.S. How to deal with Hirohito. Now, he did not like that as such, is why he had it turned down.
So, again, Hirohito was considered to the Japanese people an actual living god, a deity, and he had called for the for not acquiescing to the Allies. So when you have in the mind of a people a deity saying to you, "We will not surrender," you have a completely different motivation there.
And another reason why U.S. Truman especially decided to drop the bomb on Japan, because he deemed the Japanese more crueler than the Nazis.
Yeah.
Because of the way they treated American soldiers over the war. And I got to insert here, Jeffrey, I am the loving son of a Bataan Death March survivor.
Yeah.
So please forgive me if I refer to them as Japs and not Japanese.
Well, no, you can't do that. Well, that's not allowable. And for us to dissect how evil a people is or are, we're not going to do that on this show. Suffice to say that about 40 million people lost their lives in World War II. That's a staggering number. And what we're talking about today is July 1945. The detonation of the first fissionable bomb was dropped at 5:29 a.m. Southeast of Socorro, New Mexico, and
120 miles southwest of Albuqerque.
Correct. And it was complete. What was the tonnage? Did you say?
It yielded 25 kilometers a ton of explosion.
As far as TNT,
that would have equaled 1 ton of TNT.
Yeah. So the question is, would you have dropped a bomb? That was an extraordinarily debatable, and still is by many folks, debatable question. Would we have served better in terms of looking at it from a moral perspective by conventional warfare, which would, by all estimates, would have resulted in 600,000 to 100,000 to 1 million American troops and allies dying, invading Japan?
And it could have been up to a year more of World War II.
Yeah, so it would have protracted the war. That's also a very good point. Remember that the Nazis had been defeated in May of that year. Now we're talking about 2 months later, July, the bomb was detonated.